This is Sunday in the Heights with Dolly, the music, theater, history, comedy podcast. 5 nouns. This is the episode where we fix the sound. We finally fixed the sound.
Oh, this one too.
This is the one. How are you, Caitlin?
I'm good. I'm Caitlin Lee Reed, and you are?
I'm Will Larsh.
Yeah.
Still.
Still Larsh.
Well, maybe we'll sing from that Broadway duets book that my friend Sophia gave us.
Oh, great.
She was here for this thing called Broadway Weekend, which is, it's like Broadway fantasy camp that you can come to for like 5 days.
Oh, like what Broadway Con I know they have. Is it something like that?
What's Broadway Con?
And it's like Comic-Con, but for Broadway.
No. It's more like you can take classes and sing and put on a review in just a few days. Oh. But you're not a professional all the time. It's not what you do.
Oh, it's like those rock camps kind of thing. Okay.
I mean, I'm willing to bet that a lot of people that go to it actually have training and stuff because people with training don't actually get work. That's
like, an opportunity to perform in New York. Right.
Yeah, how much? But she loves it and she has a really good time, and so they keep doing that.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if I want to do it because I've got this.
This is all we need.
So this week, you had to go to the public library for this?
Yes, I went to the New York Public Library right at Lincoln Center, the Performing Arts Library.
Which is lovely.
Yes, it's so lovely. And I've also forgotten how, first of all, I didn't have my library card, so they had to find it. And I went through, this is when you realize how many addresses you've had in New York. I was like, does it say 46th Street? What about 48th Street? What about 10th Avenue? I'm just going through my last
Isn't your name enough?
No, Caitlin Smith. It's basic last name, most basic white girl.
You see what that woman did to you? She stole your uniqueness.
No, nerve and talent.
Yeah.
So
did you know that spells cunt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you not know that this whole time?
I figured it out this year.
Oh my god.
I figured it out this year.
Oh, sir. You're really quick on those jokes. So I went to public library, and I had forgotten how libraries work. I just went to the library and I was like, on the town. That's what I'll be doing today, is on the town. So I just started researching on the town. And then, as you know, New York Public Library is amazing, and it has all of these scores. And so I was like, no, I don't want that. I want books. So then I went to this one little, the stacks of the library, and I was like, there was even a Dewey Decimal System cardstock thing. I gave up on that. So then I was like, I had these numbers written down. I was like, these don't really equate to what I see in the stacks of the library. So I just started walking down the aisles looking for things. I'd be like, Bernstein, great. And then I'd read through that.
You just started shopping?
I just started looking through everything. I had no rhyme or reason.
Caitlin, that is so inefficient. They have librarians specifically for this purpose.
I know. I wanted to look like a cool kid, because everybody who's at the public library there at the Performing Arts Center is
homeless.
No, they're homeless, but they have a degree from Juilliard.
Well, that's how it goes usually, isn't it?
So I wanted to look. Yeah, I think that's the end result. We all have BFAs and we're homeless.
Best friends, anal.
That's what that stands for. So I was
Did you know
just
it spells
wondering.
cunt? Sorry.
Is that one? Oh, that's cunt. Okay, great. Wandering around the stacks, and then I found the big, what do you call it when you are hard of seeing, the big text ones?
Oh, large textbooks, oversized.
And so they would just have me see them because I'm wandering through the stacks, and they would just say Broadway, and I was like, oh, great! Let me just run to that. So I would have 1-page descriptions on the show. Then I finally got the nerve. I had my little thing, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I've been wandering through the stacks for 2 hours. I go over to the nice little librarian lady, and I was like, hey,
you mean the professional that's paid to help you?
Whose whole job is there to keep people from doing what I did.
Desperate for something to do because it's a library and she's bored.
I was like, no, everything's quiet. I shouldn't talk. So I went and I asked her, and she's like, oh, you have to go to the reference library. So then I went to the...
Well, what were you in?
I was in the main collections area, which I thought was like the area. I knew that there was this like place in New York Public
You
Library.
saw books. You walked towards them.
I saw a large Broadway font book. I was like, great, that's it. Those are my people. I go up to the reference center. That's when I needed to get my library card. You have to like check your bag because this is where you're going and you can watch videos of all of these productions, like any production ever. You can listen to old
This is rare
recordings.
things, unique things.
Exactly. So it's these like super lockdown kind of reference thing. They have to, you submit this number that I have that wasn't matching up to anything else. And they go into these like private stacks that we can't see. They leave for like 15 minutes and then they come back with your like special books. And that's what I did. And
Wait, I bet since we have this, we can access a lot of materials.
Oh, yeah. We can go in and just say, like...
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, like, hello, Sunday nights with Nolly.
Which still doesn't get autocomplete on Google, but it will.
It will. We'll get there.
Once I tell anybody about it.
The people at the reference thing, so I snuck a few pictures with my phone of pages of things, which
You're not supposed to do that?
Definitely not supposed to do that, but I was pretend texting, taking pictures of things. But the people, again, if I thought I was intimidated by the like homeless Juilliard grads in the regular collection, this was like people that have been there. They probably get there like 10:30 when it opens. Like
they're like writing a book on it.
Oh yeah, they've got like the laptops out. It's like
Ken Mendelbaum
books. They're just like, oh, it's
Steven Susskind.
You feel real smart. I was like, oh, and
You're
it also
one of them,
just
girl.
made me feel like I could never get like a PhD. I could never get a master's in this. I would go crazy. Because I was like, oh, I just want to be in Central Park right now.
I could barely finish my bachelor's. It took me 7 years, and I still had one class outstanding that I had to take 3 years later at Baruch.
Baruch.
I took Western Civ 2, which I hadn't taken. That's when you do medieval times and Renaissance times, and we learned the story of Martin Guerre, which is one of those musicals by Schoenberg and Boublil.
Yes.
That's not done, but it was part of. It like existed for a hot minute. It was on Hey Mr. Producer, that special for Cameron McIntosh in the 90s. And this guy goes, bah, I'm Martin Guerre. I'll always remember that part. But the story of Martin Guerre is fascinating. That'd make a really good show. I guess, no, wait.
Yeah, do that one.
Just watch the movie.
We're going to do ones that are like totally unknown random facts that we've come across like while researching our shows.
Turn them into other shows? Lost in the Library, the musical.
Lost in the Stacks.
Afraid to ask for help in a library.
It's just so quiet. I didn't want to break the mood.
Caitlin, I appreciate that because you are one of the loudest people on the planet. Next time I'll go with you. We'll make a research date. That sounds fun because instead I'm pulling everything I need from newspapers sometimes. It would be really nice to know if there was a book on the making of Annie.
Well, you should have told me. I could have looked. I was in the stacks.
Was that today?
Yes.
All I know is that you said that you didn't have enough research and you wanted to postpone this. And then I was like, that's difficult. And you're like, I'll pull it together.
Never mind.
And so I was like, oh, I guess I better too.
So today we present you with the most heavily researched.
I've got a lot.
There's going to be a lot of flipping. I have 5 pages here. 5 pages.
I have pretty much all of Roosevelt's cabinet.
Great.
Hashtag not a joke. All right, so tell us about On the Town.
Okay.
Which I would just want to say before you start, I love On the Town.
It's amazing. I love this show. I'm so glad that I chose this show. I love it. I love it so much. So what I want to do is I feel like I do a really bad job of discussing the show itself. So I'm going to take a page out of your book and do a quick synopsis. So this is, because if I tried to talk about the plot of the show, like my ADD will have us here for like 15 minutes. So I'm just going to take...
Are you going to tell us what happens off screen?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, and then that was cool. Don't you like that song? Be like, which is basically what I'm going to do after this next non-scripted.
I much prefer seconds. That.
That's true. But today we're going to turn to thanksstageagent.com, who gave me a quick synopsis.
stageagent.com. Yeah.
Okay, On the Town, an American classic. Okay.
Is that the real subtitle of it?
I kind of just skimmed through stuff here. It's like, it was really, On the Town is an American classic, both beloved for its moment in history and for its timeless qualities of youth and exuberance. All right, the plot. The show follows the adventures of 3 soldiers. Okay, cool. 3 sailors.
The word is in front of you.
It's right there.
Your ADD is changing letters.
They have uniforms.
It's like 1944 or something, right? They're in this.
It's 1944. It's New York. They pull into New York, the Navy Yard in Brooklyn.
Oh!
Yeah.
It's in Brooklyn?
I know. I always just, again, not having lived in New York, when I first experienced the show, I was like, I guess when I came to New York for the first time, I just envisioned them being the Intrepid.
In the Bowery?
Yeah. The Intrepid is.
I did too.
So they come into New York for a day. They're on leave for 24 hours. It's World War II because it's 1944. We've discussed this. Okay. Goofy ladies man Ozzy is looking for a date, maybe 7 or 8. And studious, innocent Chip, guidebook in hand, has several days worth of tourist attractions to check off his list. So that's because his dad gave him an outdated guidebook. Just wanted to add that. When the idealistic Gaby falls for the photograph of lovely Miss Turnstiles, a subway beauty queen, they all join in an ambitious scavenger hunt around the city to locate his dream girl.
You know, the same thing happened to me with Dr. Zismore. I tried to find him. Never did.
That was that kind of like the Tinder? Did they just go to different ads and they're like, no, I don't like this one. I don't like this. Ooh.
I just went from subway car to subway car until I stared at enough women or pictures that I chose one. And now I own it because that's how it works, right?
So they all go out to look for it. On the way, they find their own romance and adventure. They're joined by Claire, it's actually Claire de Lune, a sophisticated anthropologist. Hildy, a sweetly aggressive cab driver on the lam.
So aggressive.
So aggressive. I don't know how sweet.
She's not just on the lam, she's on the D, man.
She is thirsty. The sailors careen through museums and nightclubs, Carnegie Hall and Coney Island before Gaby and Ivy are finally united. Ivy is Miss Turnstiles. Are finally united just in the nick of time. Okay, so that's the super fast.
So they had 24 hours, they have adventures, and they find their loves.
And they all find respective loves.
But they don't live happily ever after, do they?
We'll get there. But no, it's all about, they had 24 hours, so the show ends...
The show 24 hours?
Since
the
there's
musical.
A president, things are blowing up.
Terrorists. Well, it is the war.
I guess it maybe was the 24 of its day. Okay, so fun facts about On the Town. Okay, On the Town, it premiered December 28th, 1944.
So during the war it premiered?
Yes. Yeah.
That's really timely.
Oh yeah. This was the year after. I kind of did it. I should have done Oklahoma instead of doing Carousel. But so this was right before. This was wedged between between Oklahoma and Carousel. Oklahoma was in 1943. On the Town is in 1944. It ran for 462 performances.
Which back then was really respectable.
Yeah, for sure. That went to 1946. That's a lot of performances. So music was by Leonard Bernstein. Book and lyrics were by Betty Comden and Adolph Green. Tough name.
Oh,
First name
Adolph.
During that time period. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's a tough. He
could have changed it. Could have gone with Rudolph or Aiden.
Just Alf. I don't know. Addie.
Duh.
Oof. And it was choreographed and the concept by Jerome Robbins and directed by George Abbott. Okay, so I want to do a quick background. So people say that it's kind of like this misnomer, like, oh, On the Town is expanded from a ballet that was put on by the Ballet Theater, which was then later named, which we know as the ABT. And it was called Fancy Free in 1943. And this was Jerome Robbins' first time choreographing. And he had Leonard Bernstein write the music. And he actually was recommended, Leonard Bernstein. And in the show On the Town, Gaby finds Ivy Smith at Carnegie Hall in the studios, and that's where he met Leonard Bernstein. And so that was their little like nod to each other. Cute. She cute.
That's where they do that number, Do, Do, Re, Mi.
Yes. So this was Fancy Free in 1943, and it was about 3 sailors who are on leave, who are competing for these different women. This was a ballet, and so it was a hit. People were like obsessed with it. Leonard Bernstein did the music, and these 2 producers, young producers, came. Oliver Smith, who was a set designer, and he wound up being the production designer for the show, and Paul Feige, and they wanted to expand it to a musical. So they originally they had like a hard time doing that. These were like Bernstein and Jerome Robbins had never done Broadway before, so this wasn't like a sure bet.
This is before they were them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, they had gotten, like, praise for Fancy Free.
But that's a ballet.
Yeah, that was it. So people were like, we don't really know about this. So they were, they originally raised $25,000 for it. That's all that they could get. And they were struggling to find a director for it. And Lawrence Langner of the Theater Guild is an example of, they were like auditioning him to do it. They were showing him the show, and he fell asleep during it. Elia Kazan passed on directing it, and then they finally got George Abbott because he had seen Fancy Free, and he said, and I quote, "I like the smell of this. Let's do it tomorrow."
If I had a nickel for every man that said that to me.
But he had to wait till tomorrow.
Well, you gotta wait for the pills to kick in.
So then when he signed on, they were like struggling to raise funds, and they raised like $100,000 within like days or something.
Because George Abbott.
Quick. Yeah, because George Abbott.
Super famous.
Who had come from like, Boys from Syracuse, like tons of really big successful stuff. And Jerome Robbins originally wanted Arthur Lawrence to write the lyrics for it. And Leonard Bernstein was like, I know the perfect people. Like, I'm going to have my friend Adolph Green and Betty Comden. They're going to write the lyrics and do the book. So now we're going to do like a quick background to how Bernstein and Green met. They met in 1937. They were at a camp in the Berkshire Hills, and Adolph had gone off to do a production of Pirates of Penzance, and Bernstein was doing like music directing or like playing piano as a camp counselor there, and they became like best buds. And I wish I could remember. This is
only like 7 years before that. They're both working at a damn camp.
Yeah, they're like, so this
Caitlin, it could happen to us any moment.
I know.
We can take from where we are and get to there.
Well, so Bernstein was at Harvard. This was like one of his summers off at Harvard.
I don't have that.
Oh, no.
That one's harder to get.
Stuff. Oh, but don't worry, you'll love Green. So they met. Okay, I'll actually just back up to that then. Okay, so Green had taken 6 years to graduate high school.
Dear.
So this is before 1937. He was living at home with his parents. And this is probably my favorite story about like any would-be composer. This makes you feel like I could live the dream if this guy could do it. He was dressed really like slovenly in tatters. He was living with his parents. He would walk out and just walk around the city, and he would have a quarter in his pocket that his mom would give him each day. And he would, and I quote, this is from Adolph Green's son wrote this really great Vanity Fair article about him. So like really great little snippets on that. So he would spend his days wandering alone through the streets and parks, loudly humming classical pieces, hoping that someone would recognize the music, join in, and walk beside him. That was his goal.
He's insane.
Yeah, so that was a little crazy. So he was homeless. He was just straight homeless and crazy. And his dad said of him, these were encouraging words from parents. He said, "You're not a human being. You're a piece of meat taking up space on the earth."
What? Oh my God!
So talk about some daddy issues there. So,
I don't consider that encouragement.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, wow.
My parents were much nicer than that.
I know that really puts like in like, oh, my parents didn't really support my artistic dreams. Like, that's the new bar for not supporting.
This is more like one of those stories that begins an episode of My 600-Pound Life.
Yeah. Well, he was also like 200 pounds.
Well, there you go.
He had like,
which back then was like, how
that would be the 600.
You know how inflation is.
Inflation in the waistline. So this was all before. Then he finds himself going to the camp. So Adolph Green had this like incredible
I don't like this Adolph going to a camp idea.
Yeah, right. We're just gonna call him Green. So Green went to the camp in the Berkshires, and he had this like really intense knowledge of classical music. And so people were like, Leonard Bernstein was sitting there, and they were like, "Oh, this guy knows everything." And so Bernstein was like, "Oh yeah, which song of Kevin, just say like a big composer's name." It was like Stanislav, not Stanislav. It was like Stanislav.
Yours are better than real ones, Caitlin.
It was like Shamanovsky.
Shostakovich?
Yes!
Oh, wow.
What is it?
Shostakovich.
Shostakovich, obviously. Okay, so he was like, which Shostakovich song is this? And Bernstein then played in the style of Shostakovich. He was like, well, I don't know what you're playing because that's not one of his songs. And
Whoa!
And so Lenny Bernstein like threw his arms up and like threw his arms around him, and then they were like thick as thieves. They were like best friends from that day forward. Yeah, he was real thick. And so they became besties. And then
I had no idea that Green was such a classical.
Yeah, so he was just a big nerd.
That's amazing.
This is the stuff that will, get you ahead.
Did he think that was his job? What did he think he wanted to do for work?
I mean, that's what he was humming classical pieces, hoping people would recognize them, join in, and walk beside him. That's the
or at least give him another quarter.
Yeah, double down. So that was.
Okay, so Bernstein and Green are friends.
Yeah, so then they're friends, and then I'm sure I have the dates for this, but like 6 years later, Bernstein and Green actually, in 1939, Bernstein and Green lived together on 9th Street. Bernstein had just graduated from Harvard, and he was like, oh, come live in my sublet on 9th Street. And by that time, Green was an actor. He was performing with Judy Holliday and Betty Comden, and they were performing in a group called the Reviewers at the Village Vanguard. And so Leonard Bernstein would go down and play piano for them in between their sets, and sometimes he would contribute music to them. The Reviewers actually were like the New York Times found their way down there and watched them perform. They got a little bit of clout. They performed at the World's Fair. They performed at Radio City Music Hall. So they had a little bit of cachet.
They were living Wonderful Town.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's what they then when they wrote that in 4 weeks.
Yeah, it sounds like they wrote it in one.
Well, this show they wrote in... Okay, so then we go to fast forward back to Bernstein and Robbins being like, who should do this? And he's like, I got the folks. So he gets the band back together. He gets Comden and Green attached to it.
Were they together yet? Because they got married, right?
Yeah, they were... No.
No, they didn't?
No. He married 3 different women. Not Phyllis Newman was his last wife.
So funny. Mm-hmm. In Subways Are Sleeping when she says, I was the shoe in the shoe.
First when I was reading, I was like, Phyllis Diller. I had the wrong Phyllis in my head.
You know what? Bet she's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be a fun. Okay, so then they're all set to write the show, and they made a list of they say basically their writing process was they started by asking that producer and production designer Oliver Smith they said, which New York locations would you like to design for? And then from there, they started writing the different pieces. So it was like Coney Island, Times Square. And they wrote out Betty Comden wrote out when like the 4 young kids in their 20s, this was like their big Broadway debut. They kind of like threw themselves into a room together, and Betty Comden pulled out a yellow legal pad and wrote like their artistic principles. They wanted to do an integrated story. Obviously, ballet would be huge for them since this was expanded from a ballet. That was the concept.
So Oklahoma got through to them.
Yes, because it was right on the heels of Oklahoma, but they wanted that integrated story of ballet was furthering the plot. It wasn't just like a production number that was going on. And their principles were fill it with as much humor as possible, satire, slapstick, with corn.
Okay.
Corn.
Delicious.
So that sounds tasty. So that's how popcorn came to the theater. No, I don't know.
Did people eat popcorn in the theater while they were watching shows?
I don't. Oh gosh, I hope not. I don't even think people do that now. They just have their like wine.
They try to charge their phones on the set. I know that's a thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that. So they wrote this show, and they wrote the show in 6 months to write and like audition the cast and rehearse it. So within a 6-month period. At one point when they Jerome Robbins was not really clear that he wanted Arthur Lawrence, he wanted Comden and Green over Lawrence. He told that to them, so they had to write this, like, they stayed up for like 6 days straight writing through the whole book. Then they presented it to him, and he was like, oh, okay, great, it's great. And they showed it to George Abbott, who was kind of like the dad of the group. And he loved it. One original thing that they had when they originally wrote it, this was like a finished version that they gave to him. It was originally a flashback where the beginning was, it had a prologue and an epilogue. The prologue, the characters were gathered in a night court, and the judge is like, okay, now tell your stories one at a time. And then they went through, then you did the whole show, and then he was like, okay. And this was, if you know the show, so Claire is with a Judge Pitkin, and he is the judge at the end in this night court thing, and he like eventually lets them go. But when they gave that script to George Abbott, he was like, I love it, but you have to cut the prologue and the epilogue. Like, and they're like, oh, we don't know. He's like, okay, you can keep it, but you'll lose me. And they're like, oh, whoa, shit. So they lost
People are always trying to have a framing device. Just do the show.
Yeah. He was like, okay, that was pretty superfluous. So speaking of things that I want to do another Beast quote. So this was from Jerome Robbins. On the first words that he said to the cast were, my name is Jerome Robbins, but you can call me Jerry. That starts off nice and fun. And he goes, I'm allowed to arrive late, but you are not. Okay. Which I feel like
we talked about him before. That man was not nice.
Yeah, that's a strong, like, boss move. Like, one day I want to walk in, like, a power suit and say that to someone. Just to really throw your dick on the table.
It doesn't build a lot of psychological safety in your team.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's cute for a little tidbit here. So other things. Oh, another quote about like the writing of it. And again, these guys were pretty young and they were just sort of like throwing things up and see how it sticks. Jerome Robbins says, we just went ahead and did what we felt we wanted to do. We weren't asking ourselves what would be far out here. We were just pouring it out the way we wanted to see it. That's all. So it was like super raw. They loved it. And then George Abbott was like, that's cute. I'm going to cut a lot of it. And so he cut 11 of Bernstein's numbers.
Oh.
And he, in the out-of-town tryout in Boston, which they had a 10-day tryout because these producers were kind of like young and the management was messed up. They actually changed stage managers while in Boston. Like, so many crazy things happen. He said to Bernstein and Robbins, he said, we need to break up the second act ballet because it was actually like used to end just with a super, super long ballet. And so they had to add a song some other time, just like super
memorable. Oh my God, that song gets me every time.
Beautiful song. And so Bernstein wrote that while they were out of town, saying like, okay, well, how's this? And Bernstein and Comden and Green wrote it. And he didn't have a piano available when they needed to rehearse it. So Bernstein taught the harmonies to the leads late at night in the window of a music store in Boston. Like, that's just how they were rehearsing it. Like, that's what a tight a schedule.
Why isn't this a movie yet?
I know.
This sounds like
I love
a movie.
This. It's the best.
Your makeup. Oh, well. We'll get on some other time.
And then at the opening, Rodgers and Hammerstein went up to them and they told the songwriters they wished that they had written that song. So that was...
But the rest of it's terrible.
Fuck off. Oh my gosh, I have a really... Oh, okay, I have to read a snippet of the review kind of talking about Shade because it actually had... it was obviously successful and the New York Times review was like really, really strong. But, fun fact, which I assume people may know, Comden and Green wrote parts for themselves. Betty Comden played Claire de Lune, and Green played Ozzy. So
he's got such a funny voice. I love it.
Yeah. There's also this really amazing, I think like they did a presentation of the show in like, it had to be the 90s. And Comden and Green like sit on stage and they play like, they just pop in and they sing a little bit and they'll be like, oh, and during this scene, like it's just like, they're like the two Muppets basically before their own show. It's amazing. Track it down. It's on YouTube.
I'm going to do that in the future production of Lesbian Love Octagon.
Okay, so they were like rave reviews. They loved the women particularly in the show. In future incarnations of the show, Bernadette Peters would play Hildy, and Lea DeLaria as well.
Who's fantastic.
Fabulous. And she like scatted the shit out of I Can Cook Too. It actually started as a Delacorte, New York Public Theater
and of course
production.
We worked with her.
Oh. Yes.
You forgot, didn't you?
I just forgot till this moment. Okay, so the original review in the New York Times, they're like all talking about how great all the women are, and so they're talking about like, oh, Nancy Walker. They're talking about how great Sono Asato was as Ivy Smith, and then Nancy Walker. They're like. She was like, all the harshness of a Coney Island barker and all the verve of, well, Nancy Walker. Miss Comden in the role of another girl who likes the Navy, also is good at it. Slight shade. And then they go, Adolph Green, Chris Alexander, and John Battles are the sailors. That's it.
Whoa.
That was just like, and they were also there.
And I've put the cast list at the end of this review.
Yeah. Other fun facts actually about the cast. Sono Asato was a really prevalent dancer at the time, and she was Ivy Smith, and she was Japanese American. So that's huge that in 1944, during like internment camps, she was a star of the show.
At war with Japan.
Yes, and they actually no reviews listed that she was Japanese, just to like spare, any sort of...
Nor do they need to.
Yeah, which would be great. And also they were... the show's pretty famous for there were 6 members of the chorus were black. They really were insistent upon trying to have it look like the real New York.
Musical.
An integrated musical with an integrated cast. Other fun casting or non-casting, Marlon Brando and Kirk Douglas both auditioned and didn't get roles.
Yes! Not good enough!
So like that'll keep people going.
Can you imagine Marlon Brando doing this with his naturalism acting, mumbling his way through that show? New York, New York.
Let's see. Oh, also this was expanded from Fancy Free, except none of the music from that was kept. Not like a note was kept. I mean, I'm sure notes were in there. But
D.
So,
it had D.
They made it just C sharp.
But that's amazing because it's so much music. This thing is printed as a classical score by Boozy and Hawk, so you can buy it. It's so much music that Bernstein wrote. And you say they cut 11 numbers too?
Yes, they cut 11 numbers, and there's so much music because there's so much dancing. There are 8 ballets in
and they're
the show.
so good too.
Oh gosh, they're beautiful.
The Lonely Town Ballet.
Yeah. Oh, wait. The Lonely Town Pas de Deux. So these are in Bernstein's liner notes about it. He describes the Pas de Deux as Gaby watches a scene, both tender and sinister, in which a sensitive high school girl in Central Park is lured and then cast off by a worldly sailor.
The fuck does that mean? What is that happening?
Yikes! This fun
Fancy
friendly
free
musical. Like, oh my god! So scary, kids. Just know that. High schooler. Why was that note so
well,
specific?
he's got that high schooler music. Bum 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 bum. Oh wait, but he did recycle that from his string quartet. It's the second movement of that.
Well, he also reuses in Conga Cabana. He wrote a bunch, which is one of the nightclubs that they go to. He reuses it in Wonderful Town and sort of expands it to Conga.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Okay, last little bit. Okay, last little fun fact is MGM bought the rights for this for $2 million, sight unseen. They're just like, okay, it's got good press or people like it, sure. Here's $2 million.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah. That's it. That's showbiz,
I've had to do
kids.
far more for far less. Also, the movie was not well done.
Yeah. Well, in the movie, they stripped a bunch of Bernstein's score. They actually had one of the producers wrote a bunch of songs in it. It was awful,
that's always a good idea.
Yeah. So I guess they took their $2 million and went,
It's Frank Sinatra,
yeah.
right?
Frank Sinatra
Which
and Gene
seems
Kelly.
like a cool idea. Oh, well, Gene Kelly seemed perfect for it.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do that was a sailor thing that we all know him from his sailor dancing?
American in Paris?
Oh, was he a sailor in that?
I think so. Kevin, you're going to have to edit this out if we're wrong.
Oh, but that does remind me of Correction Corner.
Oh, good.
Let me pull that up.
Oh, my correction corner is that the Theater Guild is exactly what you think it is. It was...
That's mine too.
Oh, really? Okay, wait, you do yours. That's fine.
So, I was just going to say that what I was thinking of, that's the producers organization, was the Broadway League. The Broadway League is the one that does, negotiations with equity and stuff like that.
Right.
But the Theater Guild is just what you said. It was people investing in shows, pretty much.
Yes, and it was started in 1918, right? And their difference was that the board of directors would have a big say in what kind of who was doing the productions. It started with immigrants wanting to do theater, and then it became really big actually because of
some big shows
Rodgers
came out.
and Hammerstein.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I also have that Hal Prince didn't win 26, but 21 Tonys. Ooh. Failure. But here they are in order. It's actually pretty interesting. Pajama Game as producer. Damn Yankees as producer. Fiorello as producer, which, by the way, was also the fourth musical to win the Pulitzer. Can you name any of the ones before that? I can only think of one.
No.
Of The I Sing. Forum as producer, and he was the only producer. So remember, we were trying to remember if Hal Prince started his Sondheim streak with Forum. Right. He did. He did Fiddler. He won 2 Tonys for that one. He got Best Musical and Best Producer of a Musical. I don't think they have that anymore. Best Producer of a musical.
Maybe it's one that they do real early on that they never air.
Oh yeah,
you're right.
If they can do that, then they can do casting directing. I feel like they should do casting for a show.
That's huge.
Cabaret, he was director and best producer of a musical. Company, director and best musical as producer. His 12th Tony was a special award for Fiddler being so great. They were just like, Fiddler's great, we're going to give you another.
So good.
Follies, he was director, but co-director with Michael Bennett. Tony for that. Little Night Music, Best Musical, he was a producer. Candide, 1975 Revival, he was the director. And he won a special Tony for Outstanding Contribution to the Artistic Development of Musical Theater, which, no shit, by that point, I mean, that's all the shows that matter between when he started and that moment. Sweeney Todd, Best Director, but he wasn't a producer. Oh. So the Best Musical didn't go to him. And then Evita, he was Best Director, but also not a producer. Phantom, Best Director, but also not a producer. 1994 Showboat Revival, Best Director. And then 2006, his last one, Lifetime Achievement. And he has more Tonys than any other artist.
Yeah, and has to be that. Who possibly will get more Tonys than that?
I don't know.
I don't think anybody
Tony.
The bar has been set.
So Hal Prince started his Sondheim period with Forum, but really started it with West Side Story. Think about that.
I am.
And George Abbott directed Forum. I said George M. Cohan, but I meant George Abbott. George Abbott, of course, the director, besides of On the Town, of other such important works as The Fig Leaves Are Falling, Fade Out, Fade In, and The Education of Hyman Kaplan.
Why are you picking those?
They're the worst. And George M. Cohan couldn't have directed it because he died in 1942. Other correction, Dude ran for 5 weeks, much longer than I had remembered it. Good for you, Dude.
Good job, dude.
All right, great job on the Town.
Thanks.
Kevin has posted some pictures on Instagram of Bernstein and Comden and Green. And I tell you, a real bedroom pose of Adolph Green. I defy you not to look at that and want the man.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, YouTube, and Instagram. And write to us at sundayintheheightswithdolly@gmail.com.